FYI, this entire video was taken from my stream. I stream every Tuesday and Wednesday at 6:30 to 10:30 Central Time. Hope to see you there. Bye. Hey, what is going on, everybody? We are here. We're at the Pantheon. It's exciting. Very fun activity. So if you are wanting to know how to do it, what is different, we're going to go over all that in this video. But for real quick, if you don't know what Pantheon is, this is a raid boss gauntlet that features 4 raids this week. It's going to increase every week. And the difficulty is tuned up just a little bit. So if you're used to running normal raids, this will feel more difficult. Enemies are going to be more chunky. So they are plus 5 power to you this week. And that's going to change by 5 power every week to where eventually we're at plus 20 power. And they're also adding a boss every week. So we'll end up with 8 encounters plus 20 power. It's going to be insane. So this week is actually very easy, but it is an incredible way to pick up some raid loot. You can get adept raid weapons. There's a title to go for called the Godslayer. We have spoils of conquest that you can farm. It's crazy good. So you definitely want to do this. And to get the best possible rewards, you've got to get the platinum score. To do that, you have to reach the par time for each encounter, and thankfully you don't have to get all 4 encounters in one run. You can get them in separate runs, and honestly the times are not really that difficult, so you should be able to do this. Now this first fight, we have Golgoroth from King's Fall, we then have the Caretaker from Valve the Disciple, we have Planet's Encounter from Root of Nightmares, and then the final boss, quote unquote, is Atraks-1 from Deepstone Crypt. All of these are definitely doable, so I promise, again, you can do this. And what we're going to do here is go over some of the differences that we have. So for damage, if you're familiar with Golgoroth, easy. If you're not, go check this video here. I'm going to card it and tell you what time to go for. But if you're on team damage, really not too much has changed other than the fact that 2 of you at random are going to get the Drown with Light debuff instead of 1. And yes, you can kill one another. So you want to make sure that you are both on opposite sides of Golgoroth. You'll see, I believe here in a second, I go on the back side, someone else goes on the front side, but it doesn't matter. Just communicate where you're going to be so you don't blow up your teammate. But what's nice here is that it's actually double damage. So you'll see, watch his health bar as those bombs go off. That is a ton of damage, and it's honestly going to be the majority of damage that you do in this fight. So another thing to note here is you'll see this buff called Class Power, and this is going to appear when you pop your class ability. It's going to give you a ton of extra damage. So make sure to do that. I did not do that here because I actually wasn't aware that that was a thing. So I didn't even pop it. But switching over to Team Gaze Grab here, again, you just want to have any weapon that can stun Golgoroth. So a linear fusion, a sniper rifle. You'll also notice those invisible Minotaurs there, and they're going to try and mess you up as you are trying to grab the gaze. So you'll see here, I grab the gaze, and then this Minotaur spawns in, and I promise you, they will mess you up if you are not ready. So I'm actually rocking a Strand Titan. It's not necessary at all. You can do almost anything you want to here, but don't go invisible as a hunter, Void Hunter. That will actually disrupt, or Golgoroth will no longer have his gaze on you. So you don't want to do that. But go ahead and kill those invisible Minotaurs. One swipe with the Strand Melee with Syntheseps does work very easy. And then just communicate with your partner who's doing gaze grabbing with you. Obviously, nothing has changed as far as that goes. But overall, not too bad. As you can see, we got through this in a pretty quick amount of time. It only took us a few tries. And that is it for this. Let's move on to the Caretaker. So for the Caretaker, this, in my opinion, is a fight that changed the least. I didn't notice it as much, that effect. Maybe it will be different once the power level goes up. But yeah, grabbing gaze is the same exact thing here. We're shooting the face, then shooting the back. That will stun the Caretaker. There are some more worms that apparently spawn in. I did notice a few times where it's like, holy cow, there's a lot. But now we have these taken phalanxes that spawn in. So these will be annoying, but only if you're not paying attention to them. You just want to prioritize them, shoot them, kill them immediately when they spawn in, if possible. That is going to help you from not getting booped off the side, which is, as we all know, the worst thing that can happen when you're grabbing gaze here. So one swipe with Syntheseps Strand Titan is way more than enough to kill them. Sunshot is what we decided to use here, me and Prince here. And that seemed to work well because it allowed us to clear ads quickly enough so we could help on ad clear. And Sunshot, as we all know, does a tremendous amount of damage. And as you can see here, we have plenty of time. As long as you're doing the gaze grab mechanic correctly, he should be like a quarter of the way up the stairs. But here we are, we're doing damage. We use linear fusion rifles here. I'm just going to recommend don't use linear fusions. It did not work out that great for us. And we made a big mistake here, which you can probably see. We did too much damage. Our team was overzealous, and so we added an additional floor. So that's the other tip I'm going to give you, is that you want to 2-floor this if possible. We were able to do this. I will show you a video of it right here. So you'll see here what we're doing is we are doing a decent amount of damage at first. We're saving our burst supers though. That's a very important thing that you want to do. And then we don't want to go over his health gate. So if you're blowing him past the health gate here, that is adding an additional floor. So we want to 2-floor this, as I mentioned. So we have barely any health. I'm going to shoot a couple GL shots, and then all of us use our burst supers. And for some reason I was getting immunes there, but everyone else kept doing damage. But yeah, you should be able to get him to around half of his health, not considering the final stand damage. So we did that here very easily. Now we can do a 2-phase. So I'll show you that real quick. And so here we are, we've teleported to the second damage phase. We're on that second plate right now. We're still taking it easy. We probably could have done a little bit more damage here, but again, we just wanted to play it safe. And then now we can head to the third plate. I don't even have my super right now, and we're still going to get it. So get your GLs ready, everything ready to go. Don't make fun of my grenade launcher and how I just blew myself up. But there you go. Yeah, we got it pretty easily. That gave us enough time to get him to final stand. And I'll kind of fast forward here, but you can see we're running up the stairs, and that third floor is completely empty because we already have him at final. So we can skip this floor completely. This floor is a lot more difficult for the runners, which is why you want to 2-phase it. And obviously doing it a 2-phase eliminates any risk of messing up. So nice. Hopefully you can get the 2-phase. We're here already, and here's final stand damage. And we're going to switch to another run that I had because the final stand damage was horrible on my part. The footage didn't look good. But we use linears here, so use linears, use grenade launchers, you can use rockets, whatever you want for this first week. We should be fine. It won't be until the later weeks that we'll need to resituate ourselves. But yeah, good luck with the Caretaker. Hopefully you can get it. Okay, now here's where some people might have a bit of a problem. We've got the planets encounter. And with this comes a lot of fire tornadoes, and we also have some incendior enemies that spawn in. Those really aren't too big of a deal. They're going to spawn in between the L1 and L2 plates. So these guys have a little bit more health now, and their stomp does a ton of damage. So it will almost one-shot you if you get stomped by them. So be careful with that. Nothing at all changes with the planet's shifting movement or mechanic, but what does change are these firestorms. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I mean. See that fire that came out? And watch. Yeah, so firestorms are pretty brutal. You don't want to get hit by them. Pretty much getting hit by them even one time, the burn tick damage is enough to completely destroy you. You will die. So don't let that happen. And they will spawn in when you spawn in the Centurions. So just know, stay off those plates. Now, as you just heard, once you do successfully align the planets, a Tormentor spawns in. So add clear team, that is your priority. You want to obviously clear out all the ads so we can spawn in another wave of Centurions, so we can deposit the right light and dark planets to middle. But that Tormentor needs to die. It's just a nightmare to deal with, especially during damage phase. You got to kill it. So here we are as a team collectively working on this Tormentor. Pretty easy with 6 people. Again, like you shouldn't need to worry about it. It's just when those 2 ad clears are dealing with it, that's kind of when it's a problem. But I'll also show a clip here. This is my Titan dealing with the Tormentor, suspending it, keeping it controlled to make it nice and easy, even easier for the fire team to deal with. And I wanted to just show a damage phase real quick. So here we are, damage, same thing. You just call out left, middle, right, whatever order you're going to do it in. And we went middle first here, but we always like to go rockets for this encounter. Rockets is just always good. Get yourself a Galahorn, and hopefully you've got a few Apex Predators. I like to run mine with bipod, but if you have the bait and switch one, that works as well. So pretty easy. You should get this in a 2-phase. That should be your goal here. There is plenty of time. You don't even have to be crazy at doing damage in order to get the 2-phase. We have heavy bricks laying around. We had some people running some mods to help us out with that. And here you go. This is the final part of the fight. Nothing has changed again for really any sort of any of the damage phases here. But yeah, there you go. Enjoy the loot that you get from this, and let's move on to Atraks-1. Let's get this thing over with. All right, so we are going to do Atraks-1 now. I'm not going to cut this at all. This is just going to be kind of a one-take thing. I will be playing Scanner, which is arguably the most important role of this encounter here. So what you want to use for weapons, grab your Parasite if you have it. Hopefully you do. If you don't, throw on your highest damage super. Titans, grab your Curse of the Falling Star. For Thunder Crash, you can use Blade Barrage, Star Eater Scales, Nova Bombs for Warlocks, anything that has really high damage output. So what we did here, we sent up 3 Guardians, and what we're going to do to charge the Parasite weapon is just get kills. These yellow bars here give you like ×3 to ×5, so it's very, very easy to get your Worm's Hunger ×20 to max out your Parasite. And I'm going to combo Parasite with Curse of the Falling Star to just get ultimate damage here. So hanging out up top, it's nothing crazy. We're waiting on those servitors to spawn in, both down low and up high. And we have a funny little mistake here. Accidentally whipped out the Parasite and used all of my Worm's Hunger, but that's okay. So I wanted to make sure I showed that mistake here to show you that you absolutely can get your Worm's Hunger ×20 again with all of these yellow bars extremely easily. There are actually more enemies here. So let's talk about some of the changes that take place in the Atraks fight. We obviously, like I said, have more enemies that will spawn in. We also have shielded servitors now. And then the Scanner, which I will try to show right now, the Scanner enemy and the Operator enemy Vandals will have increased health, like dramatically increased health. So you might need to tag team them with a teammate or something like that. But you might have just heard a Tormentor noise spawn in. So Tormentor will spawn in, and you do want to deal with this Tormentor. Obviously, having one alive on the field at any point in time is pretty terrible. So try and kill the Tormentor if you can. If you can't, like if it spawns downstairs and you get the 1 phase, you actually should be okay. So all of this is going to happen real quick. The Operator downstairs, we all know Operator spawns downstairs. Collect that Operator, call down some space pods. Everybody downstairs will take a pod up, ride up, and whoever Scanner calls out where we're going to be. All 6 players should be here at the same exact time. We're going to Parasite and Thunder Crash, or Parasite, Blade Barrage, whatever you've got, will easily be enough for the 1 phase for this first week. And then we will wait for the final phase here. I'm going to reload Parasite, and you probably won't be able to get to ×20 because there most likely won't be any enemies up besides the Atraks copies. That's okay. We're going to be just fine. Hopefully one of you has a super, but if not, again, I think we should be okay. Really just want those Titans to Thunder Crash to get that 1 phase down. But here we go. We're looking for that next copy. And here we go. Call out that 3, 2, 1. Make sure as many people on your team are there as possible. And then you have 2 chances here. So I fat fingered my jump here. But thankfully my team knew where to go. And I thought we were going to fail, but we didn't. We got it, and kind of an anticlimactic end to that fight there. But guys, that's Pantheon. That's how it works. Make sure to go to this vendor here. You'll see Sweeperbot, I believe, is just chilling here at the end. And you can grab a pack of 3 Ascendant Shards. There is the Raid Exotics, I believe, are there if you don't have the Raid Exotics yet. And you're good. So let's go over to Shaxx to finish off that quest. And here we go. We're here at Shaxx. This is going to complete week 1 for you. Make sure to collect your emblem that you get. You also get some adept weapons if you go to the title and you were able to get platinum, which I did include the platinum time requirements at the very beginning of this video. You can retry it as many times as you want. You don't have to get platinum at every single time all in one run. You can do them in separate runs, which is very nice. But good luck, guys. You got this, and I will see you later. And of course, I always have to shout out my elite bears. If you are still here, make sure to comment down below. Thank you all so much. Love you very much. Always want to shout you guys out. Catch you later.